Imagine you're a zero-budget filmmaker that wants to make a film about a haunted old N64 game, but you can't make 3D graphics and, quite simply, you can't make video games. So you ask around, do you know anyone who can make video games? And at this point in time, the answer is no. You look into N64 ROM hacks, you even message that buff Mario 64 guy, but he's understandably busy. So you fire off some emails to some local universities. The tutors want to help you out, the people are nice. So you take the train and pitch your idea to a bunch of nice, enthusiastic game dev students. But none of them want to help you make your video game. So you're on your own. But not technically, because you have friends. And we'll come back to that. But anyway, this one friend sees you looking sad and says, "Hey, I kind of messed around with Unity one time. It was pretty easy to learn. I'm sure you could pick it up." So you appreciate your friend. You download Unity. You watch a few videos. You make that funny rollerball game that Unity wants you to do as the first lesson. But you put your face on the ball and then you're like, oh, I can make video games. Or at least you can make a crappy looking shell of a video game, which is good enough to be the footage of a video game in your film about a haunted video game. Because you still can't model or animate in 3D, and you hate Blender. You really hate Blender. So all the models in your game are made in Unity, using Pro Builder, which isn't bad, but also isn't good. And so you spend a lot of time just adjusting the width and height and length and, the scale of objects in order to get them looking right. And actually, you always have fun doing this bit. You think things look kind of goofy getting stretched up and down, and playing around like this even inspires a moment in the game, in the film, where the level gets really big. But anyway, we'll come back to that. So you make the game, and you make the film. And the film actually gets quite a lot of views, and people who make films about your film get even more views. But this isn't about that. This is about video games. Because you lied. You're not just a filmmaker, you are, and have always been, a video game designer. And you're not just thinking about the simple 2D games you released in your 20s, or the weird little games you released in your teens. You're remembering playing Sonic 3 and Earthworm Jim, and drawing your own wacky platformers on pen and paper. You're thinking of how, after playing the first Monkey Island, you made your own point-and-click adventure entirely out of Lego. You're remembering that even before you owned a console, you would compulsively draw mazes, which are kind of like bad video games. So despite the film being a success, and you telling yourself that you're meant to be a filmmaker, you still want to make video games. So what do? You consider going off on your own like 1,000 other YouTube game devs, but you're forgetting something. Remember how earlier you said you had friends? You still have friends. And in the intervening time, 2 of these friends now also want to make video games, potentially with you. So the 3 of you enter a game jam, the Ludum Dare game jam to be precise. Or is it Ludum Dare? Either way, this is a pretty prestigious competition. Some major indie games began their development here. But you don't know that yet. Above all, this is just an excuse to spend a weekend with your friends and have fun. And if you make something cool at the end of it, well, great. The theme of your first Ludum Dare is delaying the inevitable. You and your friends throw some ideas around and you end up making male pattern boldness, which is about, well, it's pretty obvious what it's about. You and your friends are proud of the game, but more importantly, you had fun making it and there weren't any arguments. When the competition results come in, people don't necessarily think the game looks good or sounds good or is that fun to play, but they do think it's funny, and so you are happy. For your second Ludum Dare, the theme is every 10 seconds, and so the game you all make is You Call the Shots, a kind of WarioWare meets rhythm game, but with famous movies, obviously.
I'll be back.
When the results come in, people don't know if this is cheating or not, but they do think it's fun, and so you are happy. For your third Ludum Dare, the theme is delivery. You don't like this theme, so you make a very stupid game about delivering a speech.
Allow me to deliver a business pitch. I'm certain it'll make you rich.
People hate the graphics, but don't mind the gameplay, and more importantly, they give it first place for humour, so you are really happy.
Thank you.
By now, you and your friends start to feel like you're getting quite good at this. In your little WhatsApp group, you sometimes find yourself each spitballing ideas for other games, bigger games. And it's around this time, now pay attention, it's around this time that you have quite an interesting idea. You've just eaten your lunch, probably a sandwich, and you decide it'd be nice to round things off with a healthy snack, a humble apple. However, you fumble the grab and the apple rolls pleasantly across the carpet. And here's where it happens. You reach out your hand and, instead of picking up the apple, you imagine that the whole world stretches towards you so that you can pick it up. All this time, the squidge and squodge of Unity's playful scale tool has been sitting in your brain, and it has given you a strangely compelling idea for a video game. You picture it as kind of like Portal, but where you can stretch the world, and that's pretty much it. But you write it on the WhatsApp group and your friends all agree. That's a pretty good idea for a video game. Now, by coincidence, when the next Ludum Dare comes around, and you still don't know if it's Ludum Dare at this point, when the next Ludum Dare comes around, the theme is limited space. It's a good theme and immediately calls to mind that stretchy world idea. Maybe we could limit the stretch somehow. Maybe the story is all about cramped conditions. It kind of feels like cheating to use an idea you'd already thought of, and so you and your friends try to think of anything else. You pitch a game about a giraffe whose neck keeps bumping off the ceiling, but to little interest. You give in. You'll make the stretchy game. So you make it. And it's worth saying at this point that your friends aren't just friends, they're talented friends. One of them is the coding guy. He's worked for years at Frontier creating innovative systems that you don't understand, like a whole new system to make dinosaurs and penguins move good. He's even in Edge magazine. The other friend is the sound and music guy. He and his artistic partner made the soundtrack to Genesis Noir. They won an IGF award. Plus, you're over at his house and he has a good microphone. So what emerges is a game jam game that perfectly suits your skill set. The coding guy whips up a version of the first-person stretch engine, something no one has ever built before, in under 24 hours. The sound guy whips up a suite of slappy footsteps, weird jump sounds, and helps us record the stupidest lines of dialogue we could think of.
Remember to stretch, Chief.
At the time, you'd been watching season 1 of Andor, and had really liked the bit where the guy, Andor, gets trapped in a sci-fi prison. What better for your stretchy game than stretching the bars wider and escaping from space jail? You cobble together some basic levels in Pro Builder. Vents to stretch up, gaps to jump over. You come up with the phrase Stretchmancer, and the story seems to follow from there. A Star Wars-style battle between the Agora rebels and the evil Claustro Empire, brought to life with Star Fox-style overlays and the same enjoyably cheesy voice acting.
You won't make it much further, Agora scum. We keep a tight ship here. Ha ha!
This tiny game, made in 48 hours, even has a plot twist and an almost thrilling ending. You and your friends work through the night on it. You silently know this is your best entry so far. But will the public agree? Over the next 3 weeks, because yes, it does take 3 weeks for everyone to vote on the games, you watch the comments come in. People enjoying your weird little entry. People, like the bold Chomp, already asking for a full version. But you wait with bated breath. Your friends gather at your house for results night, and then you win the game jam. Like, actually kinda win it. First for fun, first for innovation, first overall. You and your friends hug. You pop some champagne. You make a mental note to buy champagne glasses, but wine glasses will do for now. Right now, in this moment, you and your friends are as proud and as excited as any of you have been for a long time. It surprises you how much you feel. You don't know what's next, you just know you've made a pretty cool little game. For instance, you have no idea that this will lead the three of you to founding your own games company, or that next year you'll be pitching the game to dozens of publishers, or in fact that you'll eventually secure a publishing deal. You have no idea about all the weird stretchy mechanics you're about to explore, or in fact how much the concept of stretching is going to take over your life, or that the project will lead you to make new friends who will technically also be your colleagues. Or that it might be possible for the graphics to stop being made with Pro Builder and actually start looking, good. Or, ultimately, that you're about to start making the kind of game you always wanted to make. No, you'll get to that. Soon, but not right now. Right now, in this moment, you don't know what's to come. All you know is that you have friends, you can have fun, and you can make video games.